Everything happens for a reason. A long time ago, there was a kind and powerful king. He had a minister who was very wise and loyal to him. This minister always believed that everything happened for a reason, and he would often say, "Everything happens for the reason." The king liked the minister, but sometimes found this saying strange. One day, while practicing with his sword, the king accidentally cut off one of his fingers. The wound was painful, and the king was very upset. When the minister came to see him, the king showed him his injured hand and said, "Look at this. I have lost my finger." The minister calmly looked at the king and said, "Don't worry, your majesty. Everything happens for the reason." The king became angry. "How can you say this is for the best? I've lost my finger. You are being insensitive." In his anger, the king ordered his guards to throw the minister into prison. As the guards dragged him away, the minister stayed calm and said once again, "Everything happens for the reason." A few weeks later, the king decided to go hunting in the forest. He enjoyed hunting and thought it would help him forget about his missing finger. As the king wandered deep into the jungle, he got separated from his guards. Suddenly, a group of wild people from a nearby tribe appeared and captured him. These people were cannibals. They ate humans as part of their rituals. They tied the king up and took him to their village. The cannibals were preparing to sacrifice him to their gods. The king was terrified, but he couldn't do anything to escape. The missing finger saves the king. Just as the cannibals were about to offer the king as a sacrifice, they noticed his missing finger. The cannibals were very superstitious, and they believed they could only sacrifice a person who was whole or complete. Since the king was missing a finger, they thought it would anger their gods if they sacrificed him. So they untied the king and let him go. The king couldn't believe his luck. His missing finger, which had seemed like a curse, had actually saved his life. The king realizes the minister was right. When the king returned to his palace, the first thing he did was order the minister to be released from prison. The king went to see him and said, "I owe you an apology. You were right all along. Losing my finger saved my life." The minister smiled and said, "Yes, your majesty. I always believe that everything happens for the best." Then the king asked, "But what about you? You were in prison because of me. How was that for the best?" The minister replied, "If I had not been in prison, I would have gone hunting with you. And since I have all my fingers, the cannibals would have captured me instead and sacrificed me to their gods." The king was amazed by the minister's wisdom and realized how true his words were. Moral of the story. This story teaches us that even when bad things happen, they can lead to something good in the future. Sometimes we don't understand why things happen in the moment, but in the end, everything happens for a reason.